studios. We're on a sound stage, okay? People accuse me of doing the live from my kitchen. That has never been further from the truth. I want to make this perfectly clear to everyone. I am getting paid roughly $500,000 every time I do this, okay? Number one. Number two, this production costs roughly $3.7 million. So they're losing money. This is an investment, okay? This is like, listen, Uber lost money right away. CBS is losing money on this. But that's not a big deal because you make the initial investment, okay, and then the product starts working for you. That's the idea here. Welcome. We're gonna wash the dishes here, okay? And some people are tuning out, some people are tuning in. I'm here for the people that are tuning in. When some people hear I'm gonna be washing the dishes on this live, they go, "Why would I watch you do a chore?" And then other people, when they hear I'm gonna be doing the dishes live, they go, "This is the most exciting thing I've ever heard. I don't have dishes. I use reusable paper plates. So this is fascinating to me." This is for them. Okay, this is for the Dixie Cup community. This isn't for you. If you're like, "Oh, I do the dishes," either do the dishes with me or get out. Okay? This is not for the faint of heart. I'm in LA right now. I live in Hollywood, and I've made a very I think this is maybe the first time I've heard this. I didn't know this about LA when I moved here. This is the capital of people with trucks that do not use the truck bed. I think this might be the number one spot because there's a lot of people in Los Angeles, California who want to be tough guys, right? There's a lot of wannabe, they go to jujitsu classes, right? They wear Oakley sunglasses. They're in, obviously, like one of the more liberal cities in the country, so they go, "How do I stand out? I'm going to be Mr. Tough Guy." So they buy like a lifted dually. They go like full on like, Ford F-250. They buy a Raptor and they do not use the bed. Okay? This is the capital city for, usually professional white guys who have either a job in entertainment or tech but want to be cowboys, right? They want to be proud cowboy. That's the sort of ethos of Los Angeles. It's a bunch of people who are not tough guys, who so desperately want to do tough guys. They want to do everything to be tough guys except learn how to drywall. Except, I don't know, maybe learn how to actually work with tools. They don't want to do that. That stuff's stupid. They want to learn how to kickbox from a man who's actually tough, or they want to buy a lifted dually and never use the back cab even to help their friends move. You know why? Because they don't have friends. You can't even use a truck for the most basic thing that people need a truck for to help their friends move, because all their friends, they left them in the rearview mirror, okay? They left them behind. They don't want the friend. They left them behind for some sort of like a producer job that makes $300,000 a year and just is making them lose their hair every single day. But that's good news too, because being in LA, every other business here is made for the express purpose of giving you your hair back. And then all the other ones are Botox, which there's nothing wrong with either of those. Listen, if you want your hair back or you want, filler, that's great. That's your right as an American. It's good that you live here and not out where there's actually tough people where they don't really they don't care if they lose their hair. They're more, they're more concerned with the opioid crisis that is ruining their township. You know what I mean? But yeah, it really frustrates me because they're also the worst drivers. Next to Prius owners are also, and I'm a Prius owner, okay? Let me preface, this is not me. This is not me trying to own the libs, okay? I own a Prius. We're really bad, and we gotta tighten it up, okay? Because we're making the whole group look bad by how bad we're driving. I don't drive that bad, but I think Prius owners get a bad rap for driving poorly because we can't accelerate in our vehicles, right? Because our vehicles are being run by a single hamster that is powering a AA battery in our hood. So we don't have the ability to accelerate in emerging situation. So we get this bad rap of being poor drivers. Also, we're driving poorly because we're trying to change the radio dial higher to listen to NPR. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff going on in those Priuses that make it a little bit difficult to drive. But a lifted truck owner, I was just thinking about this. A guy who owns like a lifted truck and doesn't use the cab for the back of the truck for anything, the truck bed, is so much less cool than a Prius owner because both are losers, right? And remember, I own a Prius. I'm a loser for owning a Prius. It's not a cool car. It's not a cool way to get around. But the truck owner who doesn't use the truck bed is so much less cool than a Prius owner because the Prius owner bought the Prius. So they know they're not cool. But the truck owner bought the truck, so he thinks he's a cool, tough guy. He probably thought he was gonna use the truck bed of that truck. He probably thought, oh, I'm doing a home renovation, which means, changing one set of tiles on my kitchen counter. That means I need a Ford F-250. That's what they think. They go, in their heads, they're like, I'm gonna use this truck. And then when they don't, they just go, I gotta get to the store, well, I'll use it for groceries. That's a funny one, a guy who buys a big ass truck and then just so he can use the cab so he doesn't feel like a complete loser, he's just putting his backpack back there, be like, it's heavy. It's heavy. The shocks kind of went when I put the backpack in there. Just putting his groceries for him and his horribly horribly depressed and silent wife. Just putting those groceries back there. He bought elk meat because he's trying to be cool, and for her he got her a seaweed. One of those seaweed snacks, because that's all he allows her to eat. He's wearing ugly. God, this is such a guy I'm describing. I don't know if any of you have met the wannabe tough guys that I'm describing. I don't know if any of you have ever met but this is a dude that I'm talking about. And he has a lot of money in the bank, but boy, he does not gain any form of happiness or satisfaction from said money. But yeah, man. And mind you, when I talk about this guy, there are trucks that get used in Los Angeles also. There's very hardworking people in LA. I live in the middle of Hollywood. And a lot of people in the middle of Hollywood have incredibly used trucks. There are trucks in LA with just 400 mattresses on the back. And I don't know if they're picking up or dropping off, but God, I respect it. The truck is double-decker bus height with mattresses. And I'm sure all of them have bed bugs. Do you know what I mean? I'm positive 100% of those mattresses have bed bugs in them. But I still respect the hustle. That guy might just be farming bed bugs. You don't know what his life is, okay? I respect the grind. I don't care what it is. Maybe he's farming bed bugs so you can buy them online and release them on your enemies. That's the honest day's work for an honest day's pay, okay? That might be his business. He might be taking those mattresses to a forensics lab, stealing the DNA off of them, and then selling them to the government. That's called the American dream. Have you ever heard of the American dream? It's a man with 87 mattresses on the back of his truck, going door to door, taking hair, taking sexual fluids off those, and selling them to the black market. And that's called making it, okay? Listen, our Italian ancestors, I'm not Italian, our Italian ancestors came over to Staten Island. I feel like the Italian people didn't even go to Ellis Island, they just went straight to Staten Island. We came to Staten Island with a dream. Take as many mattresses as we could possibly take. I don't know why. I would really like to ask, but those guys always seem so busy who have all the mattresses along the back of their car that I'm scared. I'm scared my mattress would be next. I'm scared my mattress would end up back there. Those are just the mattresses of people who have questioned him. The mattresses of those who have stood between him and his goal of having every single mattress in the entire world on the back of his truck. Oh man, this is fun. We're having a good time. You know, doing the dishes, I gotta say, is one of the greatest activities because it takes no time. And when your sink is full of dishes, I can't possibly feel like any more of a complete piece of shit than when I have like a huge pile of dishes in the sink, and I just can't. I don't know why, but unless I'm doing this, I just can't bring myself to do the dishes. It's like I keep forgetting how good it eventually makes me feel, which I feel like most things are like that. People just have a really bad memory for what they actually enjoy, and it's very sad. Hey Gene, how are you? Gene's in the chat. Gene, do you have any problems? Do you have anything wrong with you that I can help? You know, I titled this live, Dan Solves Your Problems, and the only thing I've had, I don't think I've solved a single problem. Not now or maybe in my entire life. I've solved the problem of having dirty dishes, I'll tell you that much. But I live on a really cool street. I live on a street that's very close to landmarks in LA. And when you hear people say that from afar, you go, that guy must be a rich millionaire. That's where some of the most cursed places in this city are. Because there's no, which is good. You don't want to move to a place in a city with like culture, because that means you're ruining it. Do you understand what I mean? If you go to a place in a city, like you're a white person, you're pursuing art, and you go to a place in a city and you go, wow, this place has a lot of culture. You're destroying it by your presence there. It's like if you walk into like a beautiful, untouched piece of nature, and like you're going, whoa, this is so cool, while you're just stomping on all the foliage. That's how people move to Los Angeles. They go, this is so cool, crunch, crunch. There's like a little like mammal that's going extinct, crunch, crunch, crunch. Whoa, you can get tacos on the side of the road, boom, boom, boom. It's a horrendous way to live. So I live in a place where, you know, I'm flanked on all sides by, you know, just businesses, like cursed businesses, right? That's where I live. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is not too far from me. One of the worst places you can truly go. This truly, no joke, the center of hell, and the fact that they still like recommend tourists go there is a clear and defined sign that they're pranking the tourists, which I like. I think that's very funny. Telling tourists to go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame is one of the meanest, rudest, most, because you'll go there, and it's the least impressive thing you've ever seen. Even if there's somebody that you like on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you go to their star and you look at their star and you go, oh look, it's their name written down on the ground. Wow. Whoa. Can you imagine a world in which a person I like has their name written on the ground? It's nothing. It's so nothing. It's crazy. And then, on top of all that, you can see some of the most just sad, like not just sad and evil scenes of human distress, and it's right next to the Hugh Grant star. Right on top of the Hugh Grant star, you will see a person at the lowest depths of their entire life. And you know how bad you're gonna feel seeing that person at that level of distress and discomfort and going, excuse me, sir, I I need to take a picture of the Martin Lawrence star, and right now you're crying on top of it. Could you please, hey sir, sorry to interrupt you. Could you stop crying? Could you stop crying on the Barbara Walters star? Because my mom really loves her, and she would love for me to get a picture on it. Just cursed. Just go to the beach. Go to the beach. What are you doing? Just go to the beach. There's so many beaches. Go somewhere up north or down south, and it's beautiful. And mind you, I love living here. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful city. But the tourist attractions are off. Come here if you have like $1 million of disposable income and you're not a good person. You're gonna have the time of your life. That's what this city is for. But anyway, life has been very good. I've been having a very good time lately. I've been biking. I bike to a diner it's a super long bike ride, and I listen to like podcasts really loud on this radio, because you can't have headphones in when you bike. You'll be struck by a car immediately. And it's really funny because I'll come to a red light. And it'll just be like another comedian's podcast, so they're talking about like horrendous like thing, like they'll be like, did we really was forced euthanasia really that bad of an idea? And the person in the car next to me will like look, and it's just me, so they think I just yelled that at them. And it's fun. I kind of like the dynamic. It's like I think they call it waterfalling, but there's a therapeutic technique where they like hyper expose you to shame, and then I don't know if it works, by the way. This might have been one of those like early therapy things where they were like, what cures depression is lightning directly to the brain. There was a time in therapy where they did that. They were like, what will help your feelings of angst in your marriage is we're going to put a live aardvark inside of your ear and let it just go crazy in your frontal cortex. And that was science back then. Those were beautiful days. Those are beautiful days of science when you could just be like, yeah, let's just get rid of the brain. That might make people less sad. Oh, you think? Oh, that's crazy. Wait a minute. If you destroy part, that was a frontal lobotomy obviously was a real procedure, which is so funny because they were just like the worst. It's like if your uncle who tries to fix your car was a neurosurgeon. He's like, yeah, just take it out. Why don't you just take out this part of the brain and you won't be thinking so silly. Those were awesome days. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the podcast thing. So yeah, I'll bike up next to cars, and they'll think I'm saying the crazy stuff that's being said on the podcast, and I really do. I mean, no joke, I love it. I love the experience of feeling like because then you get the bike away, because then the car will pull away from you, will stay away from your bike. That's how I keep cars away from my bike, because a big problem when you're biking is that cars will get too close, and they won't respect your space, which is so crazy, because it's like, hey, asshole, I'm taking a car off the road here. I'm here so you don't have to deal with other cars. I'm doing the good, not to pat myself on the back, but it's like, I'm doing something that's, without a doubt helping you, and your way of thanking me is by swerving directly next to my bike and, slapping me on the back of the head. So the way to keep those cars away from you, it's almost like a helmet as a safety measure. Listen to the craziest conspiracy podcast that you've ever listened to, and then those cars will stay away from you because they'll consider you to be a threat, not just against them but against society. But that's good. So just turn on something that'll make turn on something that's like Atlantis was started by Scientologists, like something where people will listen to you listening to that and be like, I want to get away from this person. That's bike safety 101. You want lights on your bike, and you want to be listening to a podcast that says, XYZ is the real reason people are getting more cancer. you know? And then, you know, you obviously have to fill in XYZ with something that's not outlet, you know, like cell phones, that's a little too, you know, maybe, cell phones maybe, but like, I don't know. PC culture is why people are getting more cancer. If you listen, which I don't believe in, but if you turn that podcast up in Los Angeles, those cars are going to stay clear away from you, and it'll be nice. You'll get a nice little bike ride, get some exercise. Because if you saw that, you would be like, I don't agree with this guy's opinions, right? But his actions are, because he's riding a bike, right? This guy is taking cars off the road, you know, saving gas. So that's one of those moral quandaries. Are you your opinions or are you your actions? It's a mix. I would say you're more your actions than your opinions, but your opinions matter. They matter a little bit. You can't own a you know, orphanage and help those orphans, which that is great. That's wonderful if you do that. Hey, salute to you if you own an orphan. Can you even own an orphanage? Could I own a chain of orphanages? Is that the plural of orphanage? Could I just be like the McDonald's, the Ronald McDonald, where it's like we found a way to automate the kids going to bed. But like you can't do that. That makes you, the 80% is action and then 20% is opinion. Because if you have really bad opinions but you own an orphanage, I will really like you 80%. And then if you have really bad opinions on top of that, if you're like you know, whatever. I don't want to share. If you're like, you know, well, Jim Crow had some point. It's like that's bad. And also I feel like those opinions would bleed into your ability to run the orphanage too. So opinions and action are usually interchangeable. But imagine a world where it wasn't. Imagine a world where you could make like a clear dividing line between opinions and actions. What percent, because I feel like for a lot of people it's not 50-50. I feel like a lot of people would skew one way or the other. So, I don't know. How bad can your opinions be? How good could your actions be to overcome how bad your opinions are? These are the questions that you ask while you're washing dishes. You know what I mean? These are the questions you ask. We've gone to the sink cleaning portion. So if anyone has any questions that you would like me to answer, anything you would like me to solve in your life, is your girlfriend cheating on you? Is your girlfriend not cheating on you enough and you're into that sort of thing? This is the time where, you know, I'll give you insight into these life quandaries. And garbage disposal. I had a friend say he's in an open relationship and he was complaining that he was sleeping with a lot of people and he was upset that his girlfriend wasn't sleeping with enough people. And I was like, you can't go to anyone with this. And you could be, I empathize with him because he might be feeling like really, because everybody has their own, you know, metrics when it comes to you know, feeling whatever that, everyone has their own metrics in their relationships. Like, what do they like their partner doing? What do they not like their partner doing? It's all personal and we all have our own thing. But him specifically complaining that his girlfriend isn't sleeping with enough people in their open relationship, I'm like, I'm sorry, brother. I'm not going to be able to help you with this, and I don't think anyone will. And it's a hard thing to say to a friend, because he's my friend, and I don't want to have to say that to him, but no one's gonna, I've been through this too. These are uncharted territories, and that's a cool place to be. But I was like, I don't know, maybe hire an actor and then tell the actor all of her favorite, you know, things and see if she's attracted to that guy. But there's no helping you. That's not a very positive place to end. But sometimes your problems are so specific, only you can solve them. That's something you can deliver like a piece of wisdom, but doesn't really make any sense. Hey, sometimes there's no help. Hey, every now and again, You can't fix it. But thank you. Please subscribe. I'll keep doing these. These are very fun. I appreciate it.